gentlemen, the American Jury Bulldog Nation, welcome to the second Bulldog Sports Show. Yours truly, the Bulldog. I got my Dallas Cowboy hat and my Bengal sweatshirt, which will have me here in a minute. With me is Nick Batista, the Browns fan.
Good morning, Bulldog.
I tell you right now, we got a lot to talk about because it's a Super Bowl. And Nick, we'll begin with this. Let's focus first on the actual play of the game itself. What was your opinion of the game itself? Like the actual two teams playing, how they played, how they were coached, the game itself. What are your comments about it?
I think the two best teams were in the Super Bowl. The coaching was spectacular. We got everything we wanted out of that Super Bowl. High scoring.
Well, here's my analysis of the Super Bowl. First off, I do not believe the top two teams were in the Super Bowl. I believe the Bengals are better than the Chiefs, but they got screwed. The Dallas Cowboys are better than the Eagles, and they got screwed.
I don't know about that.
But anyway, I want to begin with this. I dislike both teams because of the two teams that I root for. I hate the Eagles because they cheered when Michael Irvin was laying paralyzed on the Philadelphia field, and they threw snowballs at Santa Claus. I hate the Eagles fans. I like their colors. I like their logo, but I love an eagle, but I hate the Eagles. But let me tell you about the game itself. No question whatsoever, two really good teams. I am a Bama fan, so I like Jalen Hurts.
Right.
I like Devontae Smith. Mahomes played an incredible second half, even though he got hurt. But I always go to the team statistics. I always go to the player statistics. And the statistic that stood out for me in the first half was the time of possession that the Eagles just owned.
Incredible. 21 minutes.
21 minutes. I mean, it was just off the charts. But here's the big stat. The Philadelphia Eagles only had 45 yards rushing, except the 70 yards from Hurts.
Right. So
the Eagles left their running game at home.
Right.
And I tell you right now, and then the other big things, the two big plays, in my opinion, were the fumble by Hurts that was returned for a touchdown, obviously, and then the punt return by Tony. I mean, that punt return was like a turnover. I mean, it was just unbelievable.
The Bengals did the same thing in the championship game. A low line drive kick, outkicked their coverage, and couldn't cover the punt.
Correct.
Put them in position to win.
So, but Mahomes obviously had a great second half.
And Hurts did not.
Hurts' fumble, obviously, you could say was the difference of the game. But I'm telling. By the way, here's something else at the end of the game, Nick. I don't know what you thought. I thought the Chiefs screwed up. I would have went ahead and gotten the touchdown and let my defense keep them out. I kept thinking to myself, what if they missed the field goal? What if there was a bad snap?
Sure.
What if it was blocked? And I'm sitting there thinking they gave up a touchdown.
But I watched my Browns in the same situation against the Jets. I was there. They scored a touchdown, went up 13 with 2 minutes to go, got beat.
Well,
so
see,
I mean,
that's the logic. That's the logic. Now let's cover some more things. First, the pregame. I'm so sick of these long, all day long pre-games at 6:30. I want the Super Bowl, Nick, to be played at 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock.
Sure.
I don't need 12 freaking hours of pregame.
Right.
I only watched the last hour, and after the last hour of the pregame, I was worn out. I felt like I watched the whole damn game.
Lucky you, I started at 9 a.m. because I was show prepping.
You're show prepping.
I had to know everything, I thought.
Oh, my God. Did you learn anything in the pregame that you want to bring to the table today?
Oh,
now let's talk about some of my topics. I got them all up here, okay?
Yep, go ahead.
Rupert Murdoch and Elon Musk sitting next to each other.
Right.
Do you think they were talking about politics and Twitter?
Yeah. The comment from the announcers were, there's a lot of geniuses in that picture right there. Well, I only saw one, Elon Musk.
The Super Bowl, record betting on that Super Bowl.
Legalized sports gambling.
By the way, as Governor candidate of Kentucky, I'm the only Republican who supports full gaming. You know what? Cincinnati is leading the way in sports gaming already in Ohio. And Northern Kentuckians are flocking over there to vote. Sports gaming is hot. All right, They painted the field and made it slicker than snot.
Unbelievable. 2 years they spent on that field, I guess.
Just think about this, Nick. This is the Super Bowl, the biggest game of the year, and they screw up the field.
I was screaming at the TV every time somebody slipped. But there was a record points scored and a lot of yards. So did it really hurt?
Yeah, yes, it did. It would have even been bigger.
That was their argument.
I mean, how do you screw that? By the way, backing up a little bit on the overall of the Super Bowl. We got a lot to cover here. I want to tell you right now, Nick. The Super Bowl has became, it's not even a game.
No.
It's an entertainment event. And it's just a buzzkill.
It is.
End of the year, you got these two good teams. And rather than a football, I bet you the players are like, can we get the game started?
29.
I kind of feel sorry for the players.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got to get going. Okay, Hurts versus Mahomes. Two really MVP, back runner-up. First two black quarterbacks playing, two incredible quarterbacks. And by the way, with Mahomes, he's only the second quarterback to win 2 MVPs and 2 Super Bowls. He's with Montana, he's with Brady, and who's the other one?
Was it Aikman?
No, Peyton Manning. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But I want to tell you something. The difference to Mahomes, that he might become the greatest quarterback of all time, even passing up Brady, is unlike those guys. He's got more athleticism.
Right.
So if he could stay healthy and he could keep a good team, he's off to a good start. What if he does do 7 Super Bowl wins?
Well, I think the NFL has found their next Brady. They needed a Brady, and they found one.
Well, they found one in Mahomes.
I mean, now 2 weeks in a row, he's had calls and questionable calls.
Another reason to hate Eagle fans. They freaking booed Dak Prescott for Walter Payton of the Year award.
I respect him for that. I really do. I really do.
The USS Carl Vincent. They showed the USS Carl Vincent, and they got rainbow colors.
Is that what that was?
Diversity in the middle of the sailors and soldiers.
I glanced at it. I'm like, what are those colors?
What the hell are they doing? All right, Black National Anthem. I'll reserve my comments till after yours. What do you think about them doing the Black National Anthem?
Well, it's more dividing. That's, the left always preaches, color doesn't matter, but they're the first ones to divide, and that divides, I believe.
Well, here's my problem with it. First off, we only have one national anthem.
Right.
Are we going to do the Mexican national anthem, an Asian national anthem, an Hispanic national anthem, a Puerto Rican national anthem? Why do we only have a black national anthem?
That's diversity for you.
Unbelievable. Okay, instant replay. My cousin Josh and I were texting during the game, and we've agreed to something. Do you know what? Instant replay doesn't improve getting the calls correct any more than before. You get the same amount of calls that are wrong. I used to be for instant replay. Now I say hell with instant replay. Let refs make bad calls and teams get fired up, and we talk about it after the game because there's human error even with instant replay.
I completely agree. They're trying to do this in baseball, and it's ruining the game.
All right.
Absolutely.
The praying. 2 black quarterbacks kneel and pray. It's okay. But when Tim Tebow kneeled and prayed, he was like a white supremacist praying. Right, Josh?
They pick and choose.
It was wrong. All right. 4 female pilots flew the jets.
Oh, boy.
Big deal, no deal. By the way, Babylon B was funny. They said the pilots were 20 minutes late.
They looked to be late. They showed the flight. They didn't show it fly right over. They showed them.
So what do you think? Was this a big deal for? You had to point out there were 4 female pilots.
Of course they had to point that. It was horrible.
All right. Here's something that's big. Home field matters. During the regular season, here's a great example. The Dallas Cowboys blew a lead and lost to Jacksonville. Had they not lost that game, when they played the Eagles at home, second last game of the year, it would have been for the playoffs
for number 1
field
seed.
advantage.
Right.
Dallas blew home field advantage potential by letting Jacksonville. Every game matters. And these 2 teams got the first round bye.
Right. But your Bengals proved last year that they could go on the road and win and get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that's more difficult. All right, what do you think about the Eagles coach crying?
Well, I texted you about that, laughing about it, and then my wife pointed out, you know, he's crying because he's proud of the country, so I have to give him, and his name's Nick, so I have to give him a little.
That's a good point. By the way, I have no problem with him crying, but by golly, there are going to be a lot of memes over that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Roger Goodell this week said the referees, the referees never been better. What do you think about that?
I mean, we see the replays week after week. I mean, he has his stats, but no, I don't believe that.
All right. More reason to hate on the Eagles. Gotta hate the Eagles. They're rioting. They riot. I think they plan to riot no matter what. They win, they riot. They lose, they riot. The Eagles fans suck.
Ungrease the polls, right?
Brad Cooper's crying today, and I'm happy about it. All right, now I can't believe I haven't covered this yet. The biggest call of the game was the holding call on the last drive. It was like a Logan Wilson play from last year. By the way, last year they wanted the NFL wanted the Rams to win. New stadium, L.A. They're trying to bring football back to L.A. They got to have the L.A. Rams win. They gave them 8 chances to score inside the 10 on that Logan Wilson. He did not interfere. Okay, so last night, 3rd down and long, they don't make it, and they called a holding call on Bradbury, I think is
Bradbury, right?
Bradbury. And everybody's like, man, they should have never called that, should have never called that. Okay? And by the way, I don't think they should have called it either. But you know what Bradbury said after the game?
He admitted to it.
He admitted it was only. He goes, I hope they never called it. I hope they were going to let it slide. But Bradbury admitted.
He said it was a hold.
So all the Eagles fans are rioting over something that their own players did was a hold.
They pick and choose these penalties, man.
Now here's something
you don't call that.
Somebody sent me a meme that said that this kid hacked the NFL and that the final score, and he placed the bet, this is weird, was Eagles 37, Kansas City 34.
I saw it.
What's wild is the final score was Chiefs 38, Eagles 35. He was 1 point off on an inverse.
How about that for a diversion? Conspiracy.
I think it was made up, but I thought, holy cow, this is pretty close. I think the NFL continues to lose fans left and right because, let me give you an example. My son Parker played football. Big Dallas Cowboy fan because I brainwashed him from these little kids. Loves football. He didn't watch the game. And what part of his problem is the referees in pro sports.
Right.
Generally.
He must be a Bengals fan.
No, he's not. He doesn't like.
Oh, he's a Cowboys.
He's a Cowboys fan. All right, now we got a few more things to discuss about this. All right, the halftime show with Rihanna. Your comments about Rihanna.
Were those the Oompa Loompas out there in the white? I mean, somebody posted that, and it was like, yeah, that's who that is. Oh, my Lord. And I suppose Rihanna's pregnant.
Now it's Rihanna's pregnant.
Yeah, my daughter told me.
All right, here's my comments about Rihanna, okay? First off, I'm not a pop guy. I'm a rock and roll country music singer, country music. I'm not into Rihanna. I'm not into pop, okay? I'm able to sit there and say to myself, well, it's pretty cool with the stages going up and down and all that, and her doing her singing and everything else. But here it is, the Super Bowl, and she's singing her song. They're singing her songs and all that stuff. Why does she got to grab her crotch, grab her butt, and then smell her hand?
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell?
Well, she was playing with her butt back there. I said,
my
what is this?
God.
My daughter kept saying, oh, Dad, oh, Dad. I'm like, this is disgusting.
It is. We're old school, man. Why not have a country music or a classic rock band out there? Or a pop, or Rihanna do her show that she did, but just don't do that.
Or Justin Timberlake. Everybody loves him.
Now, Chris Stapleton did the national anthem. I thought he did really good.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And that kid who did the God Bless America with the guitar, left-handed guitar.
Did a very good job.
That was wonderful.
Did a great job.
Babyface.
Chris Stapleton is from Johnson County, Kentucky, just FYI.
Oh, nice.
All right, now we get to the commercials. Here are my favorites. Binky Kia. I thought that was funnier than hell. The guy go and get the binky, and the kid spits it out.
Yeah.
You hated that one, didn't you?
I did.
Breaking Bad, I thought was funny. That
Yeah.
one chip commercial. We'll have 7 flavors. My favorite commercial was Dunkin' Donuts. Ben Affleck is always at Dunkin' Donuts. They put him in a commercial, and they're getting selfies, and somebody doesn't recognize him. And then J-Lo pulls up to the. I thought that was the best one.
Right.
What was your favorite commercial?
Oh my, they were so you know, I don't know. They were not good at all. I mean, really.
I like the Stallone commercial too. The one with Mount
the T-Mobile, with the mom and Bradley Cooper.
That was awful. I thought the T-Mobile commercial with John Travolta and them singing, that was pretty good.
Oh, that was good. Yeah.
All right, what is your worst commercial? I bet you're going to agree with me on this if you don't have one.
I mean, there were so many that were like, what is it about? The website for websites.
Yes, that was weird.
What the hell was that?
The Maya's M&Ms.
Yes, that was voted, I think, the worst.
It ought to be the worst. I think the Dunkin' Donuts was considered the best. All right, you got any other thing you say about the Super Bowl? The Chiefs are already picked to win the Super Bowl next year.
Again, I think they picked a new Tom Brady, and I think he will win 7 Super Bowls.
I was thinking to myself when they watched this, can you imagine people like Dak Prescott, Mr. Choker, who throws interceptions when he shouldn't, and Joe Burrow, who's Joe Cool and is competitive as hell. They got to be watching.
I feel
quarterbacks like them, they got to be burning inside.
For sure.
You know who the most miserable person yesterday, though, was? Had to be Tom Brady. He's used to being at every Super Bowl. By the way, it's another thing that cracks me up. The analysts of these games, I thought the Burkhardt and Olsen did okay.
I did too.
But I tell you right now, all these Jimmy Johnson, Howie Long, Michael Strahan, Terry Bridge, all of them, they all picked the Eagles to win.
Right.
They're all freaking wrong.
Right.
I mean, these so-called, it's sports. They crack me up how much money they pay these people to be announcers. Nick and I want a gig.
That's right.
Can you imagine us calling play-by-play? It'd be incredible. All right, moving on to the Super Bowl. I covered it a lot of time. LeBron James this past week passed up KAREEM Abdul-Jabbar. Big deal, no deal. Sound like, pardon the interruption. What do you think?
It feels kind of icky, doesn't it?
It does feel kind of icky.
KAREEM's more like a NBA royalty, you know. I guess it's because when we were kids, he was there, and now we're old grumpy men. But LeBron passing him, it's more like a longevity record.
It's a longevity record, like Cal Ripken.
Right.
Do you know, I always thought Michael Jordan, and I still say this, Michael Jordan's the best NBA player.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No question.
You know who somebody who made the argument that KAREEM Abdul-Jabbar was the greatest player of all time was Pat Riley. And I have to admit, even though it didn't change my mind, he made a hell of a case about KAREEM Abdul-Jabbar, how he got the hell beat out of him every game.
Right.
How he won championships at an older age, that he had the scoring title and everything else. You know what? I guess because we're showing our age, LeBron James isn't even my starting 5 all time.
No. In fact, if you want to talk greatness and championships, Bill Russell. I mean, they won 11.
Correct.
I mean, come on, man.
Correct.
That's what it's about in sports, right?
By the way,
that's why Brady's the greatest.
My all-time 5 NBA greatest of NBA stars. If I had to have 5 starters, you're going to laugh at this. I put KAREEM at center. I put Bill Russell at power forward. I do. And then I have Bird, Magic, and Michael.
Yeah, that's a good lineup. Absolutely.
I mean,
I wouldn't put LeBron there.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. He wouldn't be in my all-time 5. A.J. Green of the Cincinnati Bengals retired. He played a lot of nice years at the Cincinnati Bengals. Good guy. Played a couple years at Arizona. Finally retires. It's a shame that he never got a chance to play in a championship or big playoff games or anything else. But A.J. Green's a class act. Any comments as a Browns fan on A.J. Green? Well, even Browns fans probably don't hate A.J. Green.
No, the smartest thing he did was leave Cincinnati. Just like Carson Palmer. I mean, they had to get out. And it is a shame because he's a class act. Yeah, for sure.
All right, Ken Riley of the Cincinnati Bengals finally made the Hall of Fame. And this just tells you the Bengals organization. It's sad. He's the only second Bengal to ever be in the Hall of Fame.
More politics crap.
Ken Anderson's not in the Hall of Fame.
No, but Kenny Riley, I mean, what do you have, 32 or 35?
Unbelievable interception.
Right.
He was called the Rattler.
Right, coached by
Dick LeBeau. The Dallas Cowboys had 2, DeMarcus Ware and Chuck Howley go in. By the way,
Joe Thomas.
Zach Thomas. What is Chuck Howley of the Dallas Cowboys unique distinction. He's the only player in NFL history to do this.
To win the MVP in a Super Bowl on a losing team. And
you are right,
I
man.
thought that Jalen Hurts should have got that yet last night. I really do.
You know what? That wouldn't have been a bad idea.
I said that at the end of the game. He should.
That's not a bad idea. Brett Favre has sued some folks over them saying that he was caught up in this Mississippi welfare fraud and everything else, and he has sued them for defamation. What do you think of that?
You know, this is a weird story. I guess 36 people are suing and for misappropriating funds, but he had nothing to do with it. I mean, he should be suing.
Right. They made it sound like he was in the middle. I mean, I thought, is Brett Favre in the middle of this scandal? I wish him luck. Now, Michael Irvin this week was taken off the NFL coverage this week because he had like a 30-second exchange with some unknown woman in a hotel lobby. That's what he says. And he doesn't even know what and why and what was said and everything else. Any comment about that? I'm picking on my Cowboys.
I can't stand Michael Irvin, but this is nothing more than gold digger woman trying to get money or get him canceled. There was a video. A fan was getting pictures with Michael Irvin and said nothing happened. He was a complete gentleman. He kept his distance. Nothing happened. For the NFL Network to send him home, that was weak.
I agree.
Stand behind, especially that idiot
stand behind your guy.
Rich Eisen, who thinks this is my best friend, Michael Irvin. They said nothing on the broadcast, didn't stick up for him.
It's awful.
Awful.
It's awful. Woke awful. Spring training begins today with catchers and pitchers. Why the hell do catchers and pitchers report early? I don't understand. Why can't they all report?
Yeah, they got to get their digs, man, get their situation, put their feet up.
All right, last on our list today is Calipari. UK loses to Georgia, who was 4-7. We're at 7-4. A lot of people think he's not going to make it. Last year, we were had a 2 seed, lose to St. Mary's in the second round. And now here we are. We might not even make the NCAA. It's time for Calipari to go. And I'm somebody, this pisses a lot of people off. You know, Xavier brought back Sean Martin. He had controversy.
Right.
They brought Sean Martin. Look what Xavier's doing. I say bring back Patino. Then somebody pointed out they ought to have Billy Donovan.
Yeah, I saw that.
But you know what?
Billy Donovan.
Calipari's got to go.
Yeah, he's resting on his laurels. But didn't he bring back recently Rondo to coach? I heard this.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, as an assistant coach. I can't believe he should be able to roll the ball out there and win, you know, with the talent. And,
with the players that he's got. All right, is there anything else that you would like to add about the Super Bowl, sports, or anything else?
No, I think we covered a lot.
He's looking at his notes.
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes here. Oh, Rogers Retreat, the dark retreat. What do you think about this?
Well, it was weird. He says he's going to go in a dark retreat. I don't know what that means. He's like for 3 or 4 days. Is he going to be in a room that's completely dark? Is he not going to have a flashlight? He's not going to have a lighter. He's not going to have a lamp.
He's going to have a lot of drugs.
He's not going to have anything. Is he going to smoke? Where is this place? What's he actually going to do? Is he going to defecate in his pants? Is he going to go to the bathroom? Will he turn the light on? Does he got a bowl to go to the bathroom on? Is he going to have food and water? What's the real extent of this darkness retreat he's talking about, and what does he hope to gain from it?
Well, initially I wanted to rip him for it, but then I started thinking, you know, the NFL tries to put everybody in a slot, in a compartment. They can't do that with Rodgers, and I like that. I like that he screws with them.
I became a fan of Kyrie Irving and Aaron Rodgers all over. They gave the middle finger to their leagues over the COVID shot. And the ESPN liberal wokes just there. By the way, speaking of this woke thing, this will be my last comment about it. Yesterday, we ran into at lunch, we ran into 2 couples and one of their children, and they all work for companies. And I asked the 2 guys who are my buddies, they're just like us, same age group, everything else. I said, are your companies woke? And they said, no, our companies are woke. I said, thank God, because I don't know how you guys work for anybody, because they're like us. They would get in trouble if they worked for a woke company. And then 2 of these people worked in healthcare. And I said, I don't know how you guys handle working in healthcare. And one of them said, and I said, you make one mistake, you're gone. He says, you know what they tell us? They say if you make a mistake, admit it, but then you're gone.
Right, absolutely.
I mean, what? They said admit it right away, but then you're gone.
And what are these mistakes? Oh,
I mean, exactly. You say the wrong thing one time, you make a mistake. I don't work for anybody. I'm glad I don't. You work for the man? You work for a corporation?
I do.
Are they a woke company?
They are, but I can keep my distance from it.
So you keep your mouth shut.
Well, I work in the shop environment, so
all right,
guys.
The second show, Bulldog Sports, is in the can. I think we did the Super Bowl justice, Nick Batista. Any closing remarks?
No, I can't wait for next week, man.
All right.
Great time.
We will be back same time, same place. We got to thank our producer, Josh Wentz, for doing the great promo and the great graphics and everything else. This is the Bulldog with Nick. We'll be back next week. Every dog has their day. Yesterday was the Chiefs' day.